Hello everyone, it's Helen Horta here, founder of Form Help, and today we are looking at how to get an IRD number for your child. Now, we have 2 children who need an IRD number, so that is what we are going to do. Okay, so it says your child will need an IRD number if they're earning any money or interest, or if you're applying for working for families or child support. Your child will need an IRD number. So you need to apply for an IRD number for your child if they're under 16 and working part-time or earning interest on their bank balance or an investment. Or if your child is under 18 and you're registering for working for families, if you do not supply IRD numbers for your children, payments will stop after 8 weeks. And the other one is applying for child support. So get an IRD number for your child, so you can apply for your child online or download an application form. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and apply for an IRD number. Now, it does say that we can download an application form, but on this part of the website, I cannot see a downloadable application form. So we'll go ahead and select that. Okay. What do we see here? So your IRD number identifies you for all the tax-related events in your life. Your IRD number is unique to you, and you keep the same IRD number for life. So there is no cost when you apply for an IRD number with us. Okay, I'm looking for applying for your child's IRD number. So you can get an IRD number for your baby when you register their birth. Your child will need an IRD number if they, like we said before, earn an income, get interest from a bank account or investments are included in your application for working for families or child support. So if your child did not get an IRD number at birth, you can apply for an IRD number for them. So keep it safe, keep your IRD number where you can easily find it. You'll need it for all tax-related events in your life. If you lose your IRD number, we can help you find it. So select Find My IRD Number. Getting an IRD number. Okay, so where is this link I'm supposed to press on to apply for the IRD number? Okay, it must be, no, not that one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and select Living in New Zealand and Not a New Arrival IRD application. Okay, so use this process to apply for your IRD number if you either live in New Zealand and are a NZ citizen, or you are not a new arrival to NZ. Okay, so in my case we have 2 children who were born in Australia, and they require NZ IRD numbers. Okay, so in my case, it says gather your ID documents. Maybe I'll read this part here. Okay, so apply online and then go to an AA driver licensing agent. So use the following steps to help you get all of your documents ready to apply online. So once you've applied, make sure you take your ID documents to an AA driver licensing agent. They need to verify your identity before we can give you an IRD number. You can use the link in step 5 to find the agent closer to you or closest to you. Let's look at number 1. So gather your ID documents. So this is for me. So you will need one of these, or I will need one of these. NZ passport. Yep, I've got one of those. If you don't have one of those, these are the other options. So overseas passports with an NZ residence visa granted by Immigration NZ. Full NZ birth certificate issued after the 1st of July 98. So I do have a NZ birth certificate. However, it wasn't issued after 98, so I wouldn't be able to use that. A NZ citizenship certificate, NZ firearm or dealer license, NZ certificate of ID from the Department of Internal Affairs or Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, NZ refugee travel document or NZ emergency travel document. So you only need one of these here. Okay, so I've got my one. And also you will need one of these, or I will need one of these. So NZ driver license, yep, got that. Or overseas driver license, NZ 18 plus card, Kiwi Access card, which replaces the HANS 18 plus card. I'm not sure what HANS stands for. HANS 18 plus card. Existing cards are valid until their expiry dates. Excuse me. NZ student photo ID, international driving permit, a letter confirming registration as a student in NZ, or an offer letter from your employer including the employment contract. So if you've changed your name, you'll need a document proving your name change, and this can either be a marriage or civil union certificate or name change certificate. Excuse me. Okay, so I've got one of these documents here, and I've got one of these documents here, which is my NZ passport, and in this section my New Zealand driver license. Okay, step 2. So if applying for your child's IRD number, as well as the documents you have already gathered for yourself, so the ones that we just were looking at previously. So in step 2, it says if applying for your child's IRD number, as well as the documents you have already gathered for yourself, so the ones that we just we're talking about above, you will need an ID documents for your child. You will need one of the following. So a NZ passport, a NZ birth certificate issued after the 1st of Jan 98, NZ citizenship certificate, or NZ student photo ID. So you need at least one of these documents there. So if your documents do not show your relationship with your child, you'll also need a document such as adoption papers, parenting orders, guardianship orders, and the stat dec IR 595D form, which is this one here. So in my case, my children, like I said, they were born in Australia, so they've only got their Australian birth certificates and their Australian passports. So I did ring IRD, and they did say, well, you know, just submit either of those two documents. Okay, so that's what I will do, and if I do not get an IRD number because they don't accept those documents, then I will just need to reapply some other way, but I'll let them know that that's what I was told. Okay, so step 3 is scan your documents. Make sure you've made electronic versions of the ID documents you've chosen. You need to upload them during the online application. So for passports, you only need to scan the pages showing your photo and names. Step 4 is get certified translations for documents not in English. So if your documents are not in English, then you need to get certified translations for those documents. So it says you must get them translated into English by an approved translator. So your translation will need to be certified. So Waka Kotahi, or New Zealand Transport Agency, has a full list of approved translators, or you can use the translation service. So we've got the approved translators list here, and translating documents into English information. Okay, let's go to number 5, so get your documents verified. So once you've applied online, take your original physical ID documents to an AA driver licensing agent for verification, and then you can select here, and it will show the closest agent to you. And then number 6, let's go ahead and apply for an IRD number. Let's go. Well, maybe I'll let you know what happens here. So it says, what happens next? So once the AA driver licensing agent has verified your documents, you'll get your IRD number by text or email within 10 working days, or 2 working days if your application is urgent. So your responsibilities: keep your IRD number where you can easily find it, and you can start using it once you get your IRD number. Okay. Let's go ahead and apply for an IRD number. Okay, so individual registration. So about the service, register for an IRD number for you or a child in your care. when to use this. If you're a NZ citizen, you hold a residence visa, or you have an Australian passport, you can register for an IRD number using this service. Okay, so we've already been through the documents that are required. So you have Cat A documents and Cat B documents. And again, this other stuff here, where if you've changed your name, then you need to provide a marriage or civil union or deed poll certificate. Okay, yes, we're all aware of that. So it says what happens next. Okay, take your supporting documentation, yeah, like we said, to the AA to be verified. Let's go to next. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead. Are you applying for a child under 16? Yes. Do you have the day-to-day care of this child? Yes. Okay, so go ahead and put in your IRD number, the child's last name, their first name, middle names, their title, the suffix, and have you changed your name, yes or no, and then the child's birth, and then select next. Okay, next we come to registration. So put in your physical address, country, New Zealand, attention, guessing your name, then put in your address, street name, suburb, city, postcode, and then add mailing address, yes or no, and then select next. Okay, I've just selected mailing address, which will just be the same as the address above, but I will just go ahead and fill that in anyway. So go ahead and put in your country, your street address, suburb, city, postcode, and when you select verify address, it will, if your street is registered, it will just come up to verify that your address is an actual address, and then select next. And then at this stage it says contact information, so go ahead and put in your name, email, phone number, home number, mobile, and it says you must provide at least one phone number, and then if you're happy to consent, then put a check in the box and continue to proceed to next. Okay, next we come to the ID section. So it says registering for a child under 16. You must provide one Cat A and one Cat B ID for yourself and a document showing the relationship between you and the child. Example, NZ birth certificate, court doc, and the stat dec. Okay, so you can see here, so Cat A, Cat B, and then the ID type. Put in the ID type, ID number, identifier, date issued, issuing country, and then parent ID. Supporting documents. Attach copies of your ID that can be scanned together into one attachment or uploaded separately, so that's up to you. So go when you're ready, upload the attachment. Okay, so the accepted formats are PNG, JPEG, PDF, docx, and ODS. No files attached. Click the upload attachment button to add. Okay, so once you've uploaded the attachments, it will show below here, and when you've done that, then select next. Okay, now we've come to this section here, so individual registration. So we'll look at the questions that you will be required to answer yes or no to. So are you buying or selling NZ real estate? Are you operating rental property in NZ? Are you here for employment in NZ? Are you applying for a NZ student loan? Are you a director or shareholder of a NZ company? Are you a partner are you a partner in a partnership or trustee in a trust? Is there another reason you are applying for an IRD number? And then taxpayer ID number. So do you have a TIN from another country, yes or no? And then proceed to next. Next we have bank details. Bank details. Add a refund bank account. So your options are add new or I do not have a NZ bank account, and then select next. So the next part is register for MyIR. So MyIR lets you manage your IR matters online. You can update your address or bank account details, file returns, and review correspondence with Centure. If you want someone to act on your behalf, you can authorize this from MyIR. You cannot register for MyIR on behalf of another person, including a child in your care. Employees, nominated persons, and tax agents can't register for MyIR on behalf of a person, business, or organisation they aren't an owner of. So reserve MyIR web login user ID. You can reserve a web login to register your MyIR once we have processed your registration. Do you want to reserve a MyIR web logon? I might just say no for this one, because this is on behalf of my child. Okay, so it says here you can register for MyIR once you have your IRD number. Supporting documents. Other documents. You can attach other documents to support your registration. If you've completed the elect someone to act on your behalf IR 597 form, you can attach it to this registration now, and then upload the attachment. So go through and review your registration. So next we come to review, register for other accounts. You can register for other business tax accounts if required. GST, do you want to register for for other business tax accounts now? I will just say no, because my daughter does not need that right now. And then proceed to next. Okay, it says submit registration. Your registration will be sent to Inland Revenue for, let's move that away, for individual registration, verifying your ID. Take your ID and registration confirmation number to our authorised agent, which is AA, to be verified. You'll get the confirmation number when you submit this registration. Your IRD number will be sent to you once we have received verification of your identity from AA. Okay, and then you can proceed to submit and you're done, and hopefully you'll hear back from them and have your IRD number or your child's IRD number. Okay, thanks for listening. Hopefully that was of some help. I found it a little bit confusing because at times I wasn't sure if the questions were directed at me as the parent filling out the form for the child, or for the child herself. So that was a little confusing. Hopefully you found this video / tutorial helpful, and hopefully you'll get your child's IRD number. All the best. This is Helen Hortai, founder of Form Help, signing out. Have a great day wherever you are.